So I always tend to gravitate towards these, but you may have others at your disposal, or you may have none at your disposal, and that's okay. The palette knives, they really give you this kind of texture. However, you can probably create this texture with a sponge if you wanted to. I used to have sponges near me, but I don't have them right now. But a lot of this texture that you see over here is created by the paintbrush itself. So this right here, it's really more this that you see with the green and with the aqua, or turquoise, I should say. That's done with the palette knife. Okay, I'm just waiting on Brandy. Now, while you're waiting, if you want to organize your colors into rainbow order, it might be a good idea to do that. I can put in the chat the rainbow colors all in order. That way you know them. I always love arranging my colors that way because it just makes it easier to identify which colors you want and which ones to grab next. So without further ado, red, orange, yellow, green, and I'm going to add turquoise in this one. Turquoise, even though technically I don't think turquoise is part of the rainbow. Blue, purple, black, brown. I'm adding extra colors now. And white. And there you have it in the chat. In order: red, orange, yellow, green, turquoise, blue, purple, black, brown, white. So that's how I organize my colors. No matter what the variation, even if you have like a yellow, orange, or like, I don't know, like violet or something, always organize it in those categories. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that right now off camera.
How many colors for today?
Okay, very good question. So it really just depends on you. I tend to add more colors, so I give myself a limit. So I would say 5. Maybe your limit should be 5 today. But again, I always tend to just add more colors because I don't know when to stop. That's my problem. That's my problem. Yeah. I hope somebody here can relate today because I have a problem when it comes to stopping colors. I think you can see a little bit of my color arrangement right over here. So go ahead and do that. I thought that I would do a different color scheme today from what you see in this picture here. And think about this. I first started with my deepest, darkest color. That's going to be my first 2 colors, actually. So with this one, I started off with purple and pink. So you can see this deep purple on this side, pink on this side. Other colors started to mix, but we're not going to worry about that right now because the thing about atmospheric paintings, things like this, very abstract paintings, is that you want to have layers. And we're going to be thinking in terms of wet or dry. Layers done in wet or dry. Dry is, or I would say wet is going to allow you to blend. Dry is going to give you texture. So wet texture is going to let you blend. That's how you see a lot of this smoother transitions from colors right here. Smooth transitions from the purple to the red, and then to the blue over here. That's all wet. But dry, I would say it's technically not really dry, but it's more dry than wet. It doesn't make sense right now until you actually pick up the brush and use the paint. But that's how you get these textures that sit on the surface. They don't do much. They just sit on the surface. And those are the textures that are really going to shine. We want those textures later, though. We're not going to be able to get those drier textures until later. So we're going to work wet first and then dry. And it will all make sense in a little bit. So go ahead and move that. Actually, no, I'm going to keep that because I actually want to grab a few more colors down here. I have like a whole bin of colors. Like I'm going to be adding some pink. Let's see, I have a whole bunch of blues. I'm going to start off with, let me see, probably purple. I think I'll start off with a deep purple. And then I want to add something that is surprising because I just want you guys to see what happens when you mix colors like this. So maybe my deeper colors, my starting colors are going to be this aqua or turquoise and this purple. Both of them very rich, dark colors. Okay. Something that I forgot to mention early on is that we also want a palette. So for a lot of people, that means paper plate. But if you don't have any paper plates at your disposal, you could get wax paper. That works well enough. You could also get a lid, like a container lid, and it will have to be a container lid that you don't really see very often, probably, but it does work. Here's my example right here. There was one class I was teaching. There's one class I was teaching in which all I had was a container lid, so I used it. It's just a lid to my art supplies, so it doesn't matter. It was there.
Hannah,
Yes.
I didn't know I could select my canvas. Is it square or something else?
Ooh, good question. Mine is rectangular. My size in particular is 9 inches by 12 inches. Yeah, you could do rectangular. I think rectangular is good, but whatever canvas you have will be perfect.
Okay, this is how arty I am. I'm like, it looks like square to me. It does not. It doesn't look like the other ones that were tall.
Oh, well, you have a different medium that you're using too. It's great though that you can select your surface. I love that.
I didn't know that.
That's good. Okay, so just to recap, everything that we have in front of us, it's going to be our water, our napkins, our palette, our canvas, our brushes, optional palette knives, and paint. That was a lot. I can repeat it if you want me to. Cool. Hi, Brandy. Good to see you. I can't hear you, Brandy. You're unmuted, but can't really hear you.
Did that
Oh,
work?
there we go. Yeah, much better.
Hi, sorry.
Okay, hello.
Yes. Sorry, I missed everything, but
you're fine.
I'll jump in and it'll be great.
Yeah, do you want me to give a recap again? Do you want me to repeat what we need?
Nope, I'll figure it out as we go.
Okay. Okay, guys. So now I can use this moment to show you that picture. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen real quick. I'm going to show you a picture of the color wheel. Do you guys see this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Awesome. Well, we have the full color wheel right here, and you'll see these very convenient lines connecting them. Those lines, the colors that are opposite of each other on those lines, those are going to be what are they called? The complementary colors. So if you mix those two colors together, or even anything close to its opposite, it's going to give you some brown paint. So in order to avoid, I mean, that's perfectly fine if you're looking for that kind of look, then absolutely add that. Mix those colors together. However, we're looking for subtle, nice gradations in colors that are going to mix well together. So you're going to look at colors that are next to each other on this wheel. And you're more than welcome to right now take a snapshot of this picture and on your phone or whatever you might have. Write down these colors that are right next to each other if you want to do that. I'm mostly going to be using colors that are next to each other. And those are going to be, the correct term is called analogous, but I'm not going to make you guys memorize that, okay? Let me go ahead and see if can I color on here? Whoopsies, what did I do? What am I doing? Oh, well, you guys can still see that, right? Okay. I thought I could color on this or mark on here. Oh, I can mark on here. Sorry, guys. Okay, so the colors I have in front of me are going to be this green, blue, violet, all these colors. These are what I'm using. At least at first, these are what I'm going to be using because these colors, they're all going to mix very well together. So I would say, like I mentioned, choose about 5 colors overall. You could add more later if you absolutely want to, but that's just a starting color. Are there any questions so far?
No.
All right. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I think I answered, or I went through almost everything I wanted to go through. I am going to have white paint next to me as well. At least for me, I feel like that's an important color, so I'm going to keep it with me. It's up to you though if you want to add white, because I like to add I like to mix a little bit of these colors together to make lighter versions of those colors. But again, that's optional. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing unless you guys are still writing. I can keep it up there. Everyone okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Stop share. Yay, I'm so excited, guys. Okay, I'm gonna move this out of the way. So I'm going to take my palette and I'm going to pour out my first 2 colors. So what did I say? I think I said this one and this dark purple. Now, at least for the base layer, that's what I'm calling this first part. This is the base layer. We are going to want a lot of paint for that, but you'll be able to get the feel of the paint with this portion. So I'm not going to wet my brush. I don't need to wet my brush. I'm going to go straight for a color and really work it in your brush. Because we're using a lot of paint, we want to really work it in there.
Are you gonna have one brush per one color?
No, I'll be mixing.
Okay.
I mean, I'll be rinsing my brush whenever I move on. As far as orientation of our painting, let's think about that too. I want this in my head. You guys don't have to do it this way, but in my head, I want my brush strokes to be up and down like this. But that's just me. You could choose to do it up and down like this instead. But I want it this way, so I'm going to move it. I'm going to use the wide end of the brush to start moving my brush strokes up and down. Now we could absolutely turn this into a more a flat piece where we don't really see our brushstrokes so much. However, I do want you guys to get the feel of the brush. Pay attention to how much paint you have on the tip of your brush right here, but also at the end of your brush, a little further in. You can squish your brush down like that to create really wide brush strokes. Or if you have a lot of paint at the end of your brush, you can press down lightly and give yourself smaller brush strokes like that. It's always a good idea to pay attention to the paint, the pressure that you have on the brush, the angle that you're holding it. Now, I know I'm throwing out a lot of this information at you, and I don't want to overwhelm you, but I think it's a good idea to, especially if you have like hand issues with MS and you know, can't really feel so much. I personally feel like it's a good idea to just pay attention to that kind of thing, even if it's really hard. I remember when I had a whole bunch of like hand numbness and tingling, especially. It was really difficult to pay attention to this kind of stuff, but I just think
Yeah.
it's good little brain exercise, in my opinion.
Yeah. I have it shaking my hands most of the time, and I start
Mhm.
painting and get so much better with my range of motion and with my fine motions.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
really helped me a lot.
good. That's really good. My
Yeah.
God, that's amazing, actually.
Yeah. Better than PT.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's my passion, so
Yeah.
I put it
Yeah.
a lot of force.
Yeah. I would, if you guys are okay with it, I'd love to do more painting projects with you.
Yeah.
Okay. See lots of
I
yeses.
would like to learn the collage.
Ooh, that would be fun if we had like Mod Podge or something like glue or something. That would be fun. Or like
Yeah.
I've done a tissue paper project before where
Oh,
like you tear or you cut the pieces of tissue paper and then you use glue to create your picture using the tissue paper. That's
oh,
really fun. I mean, I know kindergartners do it a lot when they're in school, but it's so fun.
yeah.
Okay. So before our paint gets too dry, I know you guys are still working to get the paint on there, and that's good. But I do want to show you the next step before it gets a little too dry. Because like I said earlier, we're working wet first. So of course we want it to stay wet. So unfortunately, that entails that you work a little bit fast, but I'm not going to rush you guys. I am going to start with my dirty brush, not going to clean it. In fact, because I want a lot of mixing to happen, I'm not even going to wipe it on my napkin. Just going to go for it like this. Going to get my next color, my next deep color. And I'm going to pick a spot. Let's see. Well, let me show you an example before I just do it. Remember how I said I started with the purple, but also the red as well? Well, I picked a spot to concentrate that red on. However, you don't have to pick just one spot to concentrate on. In fact, I have one more example for you in which I started to do this painting again, but got distracted, didn't finish it. I started to add some blue on top of it. This is a very, very light blue. So you can see the mixing that happened and the mixing that didn't happen. So pick spot. Now I'm not pressing down very hard at all I am just putting my brush strokes down, letting my brush strokes be brush strokes. In some cases, at least, you'll notice that if you were to keep going over a wet spot again and again and again, it starts to blend. And we actually do really want some of that blending. However, we do want some brush strokes to just be brush strokes, like this one right here. Pay attention to the way your brush strokes look. I happen to be looking at this one and I love that brush stroke. I'm going to keep that one there. So I really want you to take a look and become familiar with your brush strokes and how you're putting them on. Your brush stroke is the star of this show. We want them to shine and show. Some of my brush strokes are not blending in, and that's just because the purple is very dry now by this point. I have a fan going on above me, so I guess it's just going to happen. Now, if you feel like you want a little more mixing to happen, you're more than welcome to go back to your first color. So for me, that would be purple. And it's okay to re-add that paint. And I'm going to show you what it looks like when you want to add, when you want to go back to that. But before I do that, do I have any questions? You guys, I'm so excited. We're painting together.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my purple. I think it's called Purple Pansy. All right. So again, I'm not going to rinse my brush because we're getting all mixy. So I'm going to, because I wanted to bring back some of this purple, I'm starting on top of my purple spots first, and then going back over my blue. Now you can really see that blend there. Gonna grab some more paint. Gonna start on my purple. This is where the layering process really happens. I'm blending more of this in. And I think for all of you guys, it would be a good idea to go back and at least thicken up some of your purple spots. Oh, I mean, your first color. You guys aren't all using purple. Your first color. And you can tell when you add that second layer, that white of the canvas starts to go away. And we want that. We want that white to eventually completely disappear and be covered in some kind of color. So I'm going back over my second color. Some of it's blending, some of it's not. Now, I do want you to pay attention to which portions are blending more, which portions are not blending enough. And you could go back and forth all day with this technique, just perfecting your brush strokes. I accidentally covered up the one spot that I really like, so that's okay. There will be more brush strokes to make up for it. Like personally, I feel like I'm covering up quite a lot of my blue. So once again, I can go back and I can bring that blue back out. Any questions with that? All right, you guys are pretty awesome. Now I'm not gonna clean my brush, okay? I'm just gonna go back and forth between the blue and the purple, leaving my brush strokes alone, jumping to other spots. And by now I can tell that some of my painting is more dry than other portions, and I can target my brush strokes based off of that knowledge, depending on how much I want these things to blend in. Now here's another thing we haven't talked about yet. Composition. That's something that a lot of people struggle with. I struggle with still. And where composition basically means, where's your eye drawn to? What is your picture going to look like as a whole, with a lot of elements mixed in there? I'm not going to go into it, but if you look at this picture, for me, my eye is drawn first to the white and then up that way. So a lot of my brush strokes are you can pay attention to that, and if you can sort of guide your eye where you want to go, based off of where you put your brush strokes, that's just a little thing, just a little something to think about. It's not super important right now, but if I wanted to, I could just say, oh, I like this spot right here, I'm going to keep this. However, I do want more spots like that, so I'm going to go and lead my eye up this way by adding more of these brush strokes. So now kind of looks like my eye can go up this way. I really hope that makes sense. Okay, thank you, Brandy. You're very reassuring. Now we can add our third color soon. I'm trying to figure out what I want my third color to be. I'm still going to have it follow that pattern of those colors that are right next to each other. Because again, I want things to blend nicely. I want all the colors to play nicely together. So I'm probably going to choose, like, I think teal, maybe like a light teal. Or this one. No, this one's a good one. It's called Ocean Breeze. I'm going to use Ocean Breeze. Okay. I don't want to go too far ahead. So I'm going to let you guys paint, and I'll ask you, have you done anything creative this week?
I purposely did something just waiting for you to ask that question.
Really? Oh, that's amazing. Tell us, what'd you do?
I did this, it looks like bubbles.
Oh,
Wow.
Tony, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Can I spotlight you? I want to spotlight you. We got to see that. That's beautiful.
That's awesome.
I love it. Yeah.
Oh.
Wow. Wow, I really love that.
Good
That dark,
job.
it's
Thank
everything so contrasted. I love it.
Yeah, there's a girl on Instagram. Her name is oh God, I forget her name. But anyway, she does these little tutorials for kids, and I'm like, I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like go around a cup or?
Yeah, I used a lid. Like I had a couple of
Yeah.
bottles around, so I used different lids. So you
That's good.
dip the lids in white paint and then create the circles, of course, using the lids, and then just use your finger and use different color paints and just smear it inside the bubble.
Ah,
And use the white, of course, on black canvas. I had to paint over another old painting that I never really liked anyway. Yeah.
man, I like that though. So you did a little bit of finger painting to go along with it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's really fun. I love that.
Yeah, it was easy.
Nice. And it looks so good too.
Thank you.
For something you say that's easy, that's amazing.
Thanks.
Okay, so before my painting dries a little too much, I do want to add some Ocean Breeze to it. So that's going to be my third color. Now these colors we may not need quite as much. Again, some areas of your painting will be drier than others. I'm going to target the areas that are not dry. I'm going to target the areas that are wet And I'm doing that because I want to have some of that blending happen now while it's still wet. In fact, I think mine's a little bit too dry, so I'm going to go over some of my brush strokes really quickly. So go over some of this right here. There. Okay. So again, not going to rinse my brush. Going to go into my third color. And we don't need a whole lot. However, it is entirely up to you, especially if your color is very contrasty, very contrasted against the rest of your painting. These brushstrokes are really going to stand out, and this is where we're really going to embrace it. These are our brushstrokes. These are yours. We want them to shine. See how I'm targeting those areas that are not so dry yet? And I'm still keeping within that, that composition that I was looking for, where my eye moves upwards. At this point, I can, at least for me, I can really see the mixture of paints whenever I put whenever I mix colors together on the canvas. Can you guys see that? Those streaks and those lines that go through? Well, that's going to be the dark teal and the ocean breeze color. I personally love that effect. I'm going to try to replicate that some more. I don't even know what you call that. It's just like a streaky kind of effect. Once again, you can jump back and forth between colors. So I like that effect. And I know that I need more of my teal in order to create that effect. So I'm going back to my second color, adding more of that. And that is entirely what these atmospheric paintings are all about. It's all about embracing the layering and embracing the going back and forth between colors, compromising with the colors that you already have, and just adding a little bit at a time, one color at a time, I would say. But again, you can go back and forth. Now, in going back and forth, I'm noticing that I would actually like more just paintbrush strokes in general over on this side. So I'm going to go and add that. I know that my, I guess, first instinct whenever I'm painting is I always tend to paint patterns. Like my hand just automatically tends to do the same kind of pattern again and again and again. So I'm going to try to make my brushstrokes a little bit more random. And I think the important takeaway there is just to pay attention to your brushstrokes and how your hand lands on the canvas. I feel like there is a very meditative quality to painting. And part of that meditation is paying attention to the present. So your present hand strokes and I guess going with the flow based off of that. And if your hand ever gets tired, like if you need a little rest from painting, then by all means, please take a rest. I'm actually going to, like I said, we were talking about balance here. I want to add more purple now. I want to go back to my first color because I feel like I need more of that now. I feel like we can get a nice little weaving of colors, a little back and forth. Go back here. I always look at my picture as a whole. So if you ever find yourself concentrating too much on one spot, or one section, then I do encourage you to look away from your picture for a little bit. Look at it as a whole, the whole painting. It's very easy to become hyper focused in one spot, and lose focus of the whole thing, of the picture as a whole. Any questions? Cool, you guys are awesome. Karen, how are you doing?
I'm having fun.
Yay!
I'm trying to, I don't really, then I can undo some things,
Yeah,
so it's like, whoops,
there we
I don't really
go.
have control over the pens.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm trying to do something else,
Yeah, let me spotlight you so I can see you really quickly. Here we go. There we go. But I do see all that mixing though.
So yeah, I didn't want those blotches, so I undid. Now it won't do that anymore. But at first, all I got was like really solid purple.
Oh, uh-huh.
So then I was like, okay, I'll go over it with the blue. And then it was like, but now I don't have any white streaks. Okay, let me put in some white streaks. So I'm just, I don't know. I'm having fun, but
It was a balance, that's for sure. That's funny. It looks good though. Very cool. I think my face is frozen, but can you guys hear me?
yeah, I saw your face. So I was like, what did she say?
Whoops. Whoops. There we go. Okay, much better. That's good though. That's awesome. Okay. So honestly, at this point, I think it's pretty much work at your own pace. You can jump into the fourth color if you would like. I am not going to rinse my brush, just so you guys know. And the reason I don't want to rinse my brush is because for these kinds of paintings, it's really easy to take off the paint sometimes. Certain brands are more easy to take off with water. And so because of the technique that we're using, we don't need to really rinse our brush. The only reason I would say to rinse your brush is if you're jumping into a completely different color, perhaps something on the opposite side of the color wheel. But for you, if you're comfortable with your paints and you don't think it's going to wipe away, then that's totally fine. You can go ahead and rinse it. I'm just going to wipe it on my napkin. I would like to add, now I'm just talking out loud at this point, okay? I think we're all kind of doing our own thing. So as long as we know that there's balance that needs to happen and we're just adding more brush strokes here and there, I'm gonna add, what do I want to add? I want green. I think I want green. Yeah. More specifically, I want a bright summery green. So I'm gonna add this. Okay. I want to try to get it before it gets too wet. Now I'm just gonna press down lightly. And because this green contrasts so much and it really stands out, I'm just gonna do little bits at a time. Now I say little bits and end up doing 20 brush strokes. Now you can also play around with the types of brush strokes you can get too. When we first started, it was important to just sort of get to know the brush and, do wide brush strokes and really cover up the canvas. But at this point, you can kind of experiment with the shape of your brush if you wanted to. You don't have to. In the original painting, I mostly just used the flat end of the brush. Other than the palette knife, of course, but all of that was mostly with the flat end of the brush. However, you can move your brush around. So you can see these kinds of shapes coming through like that. I'm using the thin end like this. I actually do love doing stuff like that. I'm just showing you guys this as an example. This is how I can really blend my brush strokes. I don't want to do too much because I don't want to get too carried away. It's really fun to do that kind of brush stroke. But that's an option. So if you turn it to the thin end, you can get thinner brush strokes. You can also do kind of these little swirly things right here where you kind of, I don't even know what you call it. You kind of pivot it a little bit. That's another type of brush stroke. Just an idea though. I'm going to cover mine up because I want mine to be pretty uniform. So I'm not going to do those. There. Now, I think it's really important to have some brush strokes sort of going off the edge of the canvas, like up here, for example. It just sort of tricks the viewer into thinking the painting goes off into the distance. At least that's what I tell myself. Now I'm at this point going back and forth. I'm on my second color again after just being on my third.
Why are you calling that your second or your third when you got yellow and purple and green?
It's all mixed right now, I know. Well, I had grabbed my second color, which was my bluish color here, in order to cover up some of this up here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know, I didn't like the way that was turning out, so I just figured I'm just gonna cover it. Like this part right here. So that, I think I might actually cover that up a little bit more.
Well, I'm finding out, let me just show you, I'm finding out
Yeah.
with the paint program, because especially because of cognitive, I'm like, how come when I first did something with you, I could blend the colors and they're not working this time? But now they are, because I'm finding out in the paint program that it's blending.
Oh, I see
You know,
now.
I didn't
Yeah.
like those stark things.
The
So now
blot,
I'm
the
finding out, oh, I
blotches.
can just blend.
I wonder how that changed though on your tablet. Like, I wonder if there's a different mode that you pressed.
No, I'm like I'm learning with the brush, you know, I know nothing about art. First of all, like I know nothing about art. I couldn't do this with my dominant hand when I had one. And now I'm with the other one and I'm using my little things.
Oh yeah.
So, and I was confused because the last painting we did, there was like, I could do opacity. You know, I could figure out how opaque I want it to be. I can make the paint, but there's pens and markers and things like that. So just now I was like, oh, so when I use the brush, it does blend. Okay.
I love that.
Fun with it, whatever it is I'm doing. And now I'm going to go back to, like you're saying, number 1 and number 2 pen. So
now that it's working for you.
You know,
good.
How the program works and just to get into the playing with the colors.
Yeah, just to like watch them blend. I think it's fascinating. I love doing it. And I'm really impressed by the software on your tablet. You can really do everything, it seems like.
If only I knew what it was. Because
True.
there's pens, highlighters, ink, pencils.
Wow.
But I
That's
saved a
awesome.
draft. I'm gonna work on this because I saved a draft of before I messed it up with the turquoise.
Uh-huh.
And I saved a draft and I was like, no, now I got a draft so I can work on that other one before I added the turquoise. It's just fun for me to go
Play around.
experiment. And the cleanup is so easy.
I know. That's kind of why I want a tablet too. Because the cleanup, you don't have to clean up anything.
Yeah, but you should, you love the real whatever. This is a Samsung Galaxy S6 Lite, it's actually
Okay.
not a really high end. It's just I got it so I can learn how to write, and then I don't write. So this is the only time I ever pick up the pen is with
Aw.
you.
Oh, and I saw that you used the little one of the little like grippy things
Oh, you
that
know
I
what I
sent.
did with the other big grippy thing? I attached it to my fork.
Oh, that's good. And it fit. That's amazing. It fit nicely.
Yeah. I was like,
That's
oh, good, I don't have
awesome.
to buy something.
Oh, that's awesome. Just for context, everyone, I think it was in the first art paint class that Karen, oh, it was an art class, not a paint class. The first one that she attended was, I think I sent a bunch of adaptive aids to anybody who needed them for their markers. And I sent a whole bunch because I just didn't know what was going to work for everyone. So, and especially for Karen too, 'cause she's got her pen that she's using. So I sent a bunch of them, and the ones that I found were some of the ones that I found were tubes. Like they're literally just foam tubes that have a hole that's big enough that you can stick like your toothbrush in it, as your fork, like your fork, for example. So those are pretty neat. Those are really awesome.
And you can also put, because I had an occupational therapist put one and cut it so it could fit over something
Oh,
that
good.
doesn't quite fit.
Oh, yeah. They were really easy to cut, actually. I just had a
Sounds
regular
like
pair of scissors.
pool noodle or something. But
It is
smaller.
like a pool noodler. It is a pool noodle. Yeah, it's like a pool noodle.
Well, good. If you're painting in the water and you drop your stuff, it'll
Yeah.
float.
It'll float. There you go. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys how to add, if you have the palette knives, how to use the palette knives now. At this point, you can go off and keep on adding your fourth and fifth colors or sixth colors. Again, it's all about that balance. My 1, 2, 3, 4, my fifth color was this light purple right here. I'm going to do something a little bit scary and add a totally different color with the palette knife.
Is
I guess
this
it's
a palette knife?
yes, that is a palette knife. Exactly.
Okay, cool.
So these two kinds are the most common, but there are other types too. And honestly, they all work. They all, in my opinion, they have very similar textures. So I wouldn't be too picky about what you've got or worry too much about which one you have. The only thing about palette knives is that I love that they have this bend right here. This bend just makes it so much easier to apply it to the canvas. But again, even if it's just flat, it's okay. You can still use it. So I'm going to take some paint and spread it on my knife here. Looks just like melty butter. And I'm going to actually go up and down. This is the direction I want to move my paint. As far as where to put your new color, that really just depends on whether or not you want it to blend with your wet areas. This is very wet. It'll definitely blend with that. I have a lot of green here. And if you remember, green and pink or red are opposites on the color wheel. So they're going to create brown. So I'm going to avoid green. I can go up here, I think, and try it up here. Nice and smooth, just like butter. That's what happens when you put a lot of it. Now, if you wanted those much lighter strokes, then you'll have to drag your paint along. I'm pressing down here.
Oh, this is scary.
Yeah,
If
it
you don't
is, right?
If you don't have one of those knives, do you think like a credit card or something, like an old credit card or gift card would work?
Absolutely. In
All
fact,
right,
I have a
I'm gonna
whole nother,
yeah.
you know, I have a whole nother lesson planned for you guys that uses credit cards to
Oh.
swipe it across. I want to show you how that works. I have one right here. Oh man, I'm so excited. I love this
Yeah.
technique.
I'm like,
So
I have an old Target gift card, so I was gonna use it.
yeah, happy birthday for me. So
Yeah.
so what you want to do if you have this credit card is you take the long end. I just like to hold it this end because it's easier. Tap, tap, tap across. So I've got pretty good amount on there, but I can also flatten it a little bit to get a little more. And then scrape it along like so. You may have to flatten it yourself. Now, with this method, you can't really get, or at least I wouldn't say you can't, but it's a lot harder to get those thinner brush strokes. Now, if you wanted very, very light touches, then put barely anything on the end of your, well, both of these actually, either of these, put barely anything at the end of them and just press down ever so lightly. Very, very lightly, but really scrape it across though. And if you have anything that is still wet,
I just
it'll
scraped
blend
all my
in.
paint off.
Oh, you did? Oh,
Oh.
beware. Beware. Here, put it back.
Okay.
You can put it back by scraping
Yep.
it back or paintbrush, painting it back on.
I kind of want to just like squeeze some paint out on the thing and then just smear it around. Well, because I
do it
don't
with
have
you.
a flat surface. I have one of these little things, so I can't really get
Oh,
this thing in there. So I'll just use
yeah.
the canvas as my,
Can I
Or
show you?
Maybe you can just do this.
Yeah, you know what? Try that. I'm gonna do this with you. This is like number 50 probably by now. Try that. I think I've never done this before, but I think it'll work. Just put a little bit on the end there.
Oh, just on the end. Oh, oops.
Well, I mean, only because the only reason I say the end is because I want these brush strokes to be a little bit thinner.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm thinking about that. That's pretty nice though. I do like that. I am going to show you another little technique in which you dot your paint down there. And once again, all of this is optional for anybody watching. I'm just showing you guys techniques at this point. Then scrape it down. That you get a little ghosty blob of color. Now, personally, I kind of want this ghosty blob to blend in with some of that pink. So I'm going to go in and see what happens when I put this gift card. So this, I think we're at the point in our painting where it's really easy to say, oh no, I think I added a little too much. I shouldn't have done that. Or I'm a little too far off the edge. So once you get to a certain point where you're like, okay, this is good, I think I'm happy with this, then it's okay to take a breather and take a moment to decide if you want to do anything further with that. You could keep on reworking these paintings again and again and again. Even after they're dry, you can still go back to them. For me, I don't want everything to be quite so centralized. So I'm going to go back to my pink and perhaps go back to that composition that I was thinking about where I want my eye to move upward. I'm going to, I don't know, maybe go back and forth between the pink and this blue. That's just what I'm doing. So I'm going back to composition, thinking about that. Anybody else do something creative this week?
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
a canvas. Yeah,
Oh, you did too? Oh man, I
yeah.
love
It
it.
was like waterfall.
Oh, you did a waterfall. That's
Yeah,
awesome. Can you
I will show you.
yeah, I want to see it. Brandy, I like your technique of putting the paint directly on the palette knife.
I only have a piece of paper, so this paper is, I think, overloaded. So,
Let me show you.
Oh, there we go, Merly. Awesome. Let me
ooh,
put you on spotlight.
Yeah,
Oh, you did that?
yeah,
No way. I
yeah.
love it.
Yeah, say for get a gift for a friend of mine. So she says
Wow.
she like how I paint, so I did that for her.
Wow.
beautiful.
I
Thank
know,
you.
that's lovely. There was the reflection on the water is really nice too.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. Y'all got creative this week. I love it.
Yeah, it's a nice
Nice.
inspiration.
Yeah. Did you work from a photograph?
No,
Oh, wow. From memory?
yeah,
Nice. Nice.
thank you. Just on my mind.
I'm sure your friend will love it too.
Thank you.
I have a lot of
Oh
a
yeah.
lot of I have a lot of paintings that are just kind of sitting around
Aw,
my desk area. Honestly, they're all right here. Or either they're all like right in this vicinity or they're right behind me. And I think what I need to do is just buy a whole bunch of tacks or something and just put them all up.
oh yeah, yeah, they're light, right? So that or those
Yeah.
removable 3M strips.
Oh yeah. Those.
But yeah, I put a lot of
Um,
mine up with just like the thumbtacks. You can just hang it on.
yeah. Honestly, I don't do anything fancy with them. I think I have too many to be worried about like putting them up with the proper picture hangers, and it's just like, no, I don't need that. But yeah, I've resorted to giving some of them away to like friends and stuff. They're just sitting around.
Do you have any like metallic paint? Because I think that would look cool here.
Oh yeah, I
I don't have
do.
any, but
I
I
use
do.
some metallics in that job.
Oh, you did? Oh,
oh,
Yeah.
nice. Nice. Now, just so everybody knows, it's 8:02. However, I totally don't mind extending the class another 30 minutes. If you guys are okay with that. I think we're at a point where we're just kind of trying to balance our painting and work on it little by little. We're all kind of doing our own thing and experimenting. So it's a good point to be in. Brandy, you mentioned metallics, and I remembered that I have this paint called Dragonfly Glaze.
ooh, that look. Is it
Oh,
I've
glitter or?
Yeah, I think it's just glitter. I've used it one time, but I think that I needed to like really shake it. So I think now I get to use it properly this time. And I'm excited. I always forget that I have it. I think it was just one of those things where I was shopping for something else. I happened to see it and I was like, I need it.
Sounds like most of my grocery trips where you're like, oh, did you find everything you were looking for? I'm like, I got all the stuff and none of it's what I came in for, but here we are.
Oh my God. It's my life in a nutshell. Here we are with extra snacks we didn't need.
There's no, that's an oxymoron, extra snacks.
Extra snacks. Oh my gosh. I know. I think I went into the store looking for Andes candies, like the minty chocolatey ones.
Oh yeah.
Couldn't find them. Came out with a bunch of like Mexican like chamoy candies and like tamarind candies and like totally the opposite of what I was looking for.
Did you get any chocolate?
Nope, no chocolate.
Ah.
Nope.
Any mint?
Nope. It's all oh, Lisa says she has to sign off. Oh, thank you for joining us, Lisa. Is she gone by now? Oh man, she's gone. Okay. Well, I hope she sees this recording later.
Yeah, I have to get going too, but I don't know if you want to see.
Yes, I'd love to.
Okay. Oh,
There we go. Your blurriness is
oh,
on.
I always forget that stupid background always blurs. Let me take that off real quick. I don't know how to, it always starts like that. I don't know how to do
Oh,
that.
yeah. There
Whoa.
we go. Look at you. I'm loving like the shape of everything, like the composition that you've got
Oh, thank you.
and the colors too. Honestly, those greens with those red, like on top of those reds, that was very brave of you. I love that you did that.
Yeah, I had to make sure it was really dry before I did.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I use like one of those cosmetic wedges to
Oh, that's smart. That's
kind of do
good.
that. So experimented. Yeah, and the credit
Nice.
card. So thank you. It was so
Nice.
much fun.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us, Susie.
All right. Hope everyone has a good week. And
See you next week,
Bye.
Susie.
yes.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, I'm done.
Yes, who was that? Who said they're done?
Aaron.
Karen.
Oh.
Oh, Sharon, there you are. Let me put you on. There we go.
Wow.
That
Wow.
reminds me of an undersea kelp forest. I don't know if you were
Okay.
going for that, but I love the
I'll
texture.
name it that.
I like it a lot. I like how you have all that texture.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I like the palette knife. The palette
Oh,
knife
yeah.
works great.
Nice. And I love that you really experimented with those colors and added very thick textures
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah, it was
Beautiful.
fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. So cool. Good seeing you.
Bye.
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 I can show mine. Because it's paper, I don't think I can add any more to this. And I haven't been very artsy when my last thing is what we did last week. So, but yeah, I
There
didn't
we
get
go.
very creative because I was worried about ripping the paper, which I started to. So,
Which you started to. Hey,
with the
you can
palette knife,
always.
it dug in and started to pull the paint down, and maybe, although it doesn't look, maybe it was just the paint, but
Interesting.
yeah, I didn't get a canvas, so
That's okay. Honestly, I still love your textures, and at least you got a feel for all the textures that you could create. So
yeah,
that's good.
I'm gonna get a canvas and try.
Yay! Rewatch this. Oh, were you able to sign up for the next ANCAN thing?
Oh,
Did you
just
get my
wait list.
email?
I yeah, but
Okay.
it was all wait list.
Yeah,
So I put
it's
my name in.
yeah, it's pretty much waitlist at this point. But
Yeah.
honestly, everybody on the wait list, I think it's about to be filled. So as long as you got on the wait list, you're good.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Yeah, you're good.
Thank
you're good.
you.
Yay. Yes. Very cool. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah, Tony. Let me put you up here.
Still kind of damp on the edges.
Yeah, there we go. That is looking like a waterfall. I love that.
Yeah, I
Love
put
it.
my paints away because sometimes when I overdo it, it just turns into a mess. So I don't want to overdo it.
I'm loving those textures though. They're layered really nicely.
Thank you.
Very cool. Thank you. What size canvas is that?
Um, Probably not. Well, let me see, 11 by
Is it
14.
11 by 4? Okay, I was curious about that. I think that's a really good size. Cool. Thank you. And there we go. Anyone else?
Yeah.
You're still working? That's okay. We still have time. Really, I'm gonna put you up here.
Wow, so many colors.
Ooh,
Ooh.
look at those peaches. Like peaches, apricot. I
Yeah.
love that. It's reminding me of a summer breeze. I love
Oh,
that. Like
yeah, that's
by
true.
the ocean. Yeah, like by the ocean side. Like I can feel a little bit of that warm breeze when I look at it.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Totally intended it, right?
Yeah, here putting some gold. No.
Oh man, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm seeing those peaches because there's a
Yeah.
kind of a pizza place near me, and they go Wednesday they're making pizza with peaches, and I'm like, I'm gonna go on Wednesday.
Wow. That sounds amazing.
I would put peach on this, but now I am very worried about brown because I do always make
Mm.
brown. So your the color wheel was very helpful. I'm gonna make sure I
Good. Good. Yeah. I always think about the color wheel when I'm thinking about color. So it's good to just have one
maybe I'll
nearby.
just get it like tattooed right here so I can just refer to it and then be like, nope, not those two.
Not those two. I love that idea though. I really do.
I mean, if you really care, if you're really passionate about your art, Hannah, maybe you should consider the color wheel tattoo.
You
You
know, it's
probably have it
funny.
memorized though.
I do have it memorized, but quite honestly, I might still get a tattoo. Like seriously,
That'd be
now that you
awesome.
say it. Oh, I love that idea. I still don't know where to like what direction to take mine, honestly. Like I could still work with it and I'm okay with that. Like I am gonna work with it. I
Did you just
think
add the blue at the corner?
I did, yeah.
Oh, okay.
'cause
Yeah.
I wanted something to sort of be a bridge between the purple and this very, very light powder blue. That's all I got so far though. Like I'll do something else. I feel like I need to add more of this
So,
blue now.
I'm intimidated because I can't remember the color wheel, so I'm afraid to add another color to get that ugly brown. So I'm only staying with these, but I can just play, afterwards too. Like
Oh man, I can't. There we go.
Ooh.
I'm afraid.
Now I see it.
Oh, actually, but the dots look really cool. You can't really tell, but they look like brushes. But
Honestly.
I'm afraid to add another color. Tell me what to add. Because
I don't
I just have the blue, the purple, and the teal. This isn't really showing the real color, but
how crazy do you want to get, Karen? Because
well, see,
yours.
I can save this, and then I can get
Oh,
crazy, and I can go back to it and get even crazier. So,
Yeah, you don't have the luxury of things being wet versus dry. It's
Mhm.
just immediately.
there. Mhm.
I don't know what, I don't even understand how this program works. Like, why is that there? How'd that happen?
I'm so curious about it. I might actually look for that Samsung program anyway, just so I can like familiarize myself with it.
I might just show, I'm gonna save these drafts and I can send them to, and then you can see
Yeah.
what happened, because you can't really see on the screen how like that
Yeah.
paintbrush thing like happened. But so what color can I add? I mean, I actually like
Yeah.
the colors that are there, but if I want to go crazy.
Peach.
So yeah, peach is a good one. When like the textures that you make, they remind me of an aurora borealis.
Uh-huh.
So I wonder if you could add maybe something that is green or maybe like yellow, but it would probably blend to make green in some places if you add yellow.
Add yellow, but I looked at the first things I ever did with you and I was like, how did it all made brown? I don't want that brown. And how did that happen? But now I think it's when I use the paintbrush feature, it'll blend because it's
Oh
actually
yeah,
brush.
that makes a lot of sense then. Oh, I'm curious, because you have access to other textures too. I wonder
I
if
gotta
there's
go. So I see you next week. Thank you so
yes.
Bye, Marley.
Bye, Merle.
much. Bye.
See
Yes,
ya. Bye,
I should
Tony.
run. I will run too. I'll see you all next week.
Okay. See ya.
All right, bye.
Bye, Tony.
Bye, Tony.
Oh, I was saying bye to Merle.
She's out of here.
Okay.
Bye. Marianne's not there yet. So I'm sure she'll be back. I haven't seen her piece. There you are. Uh-oh, you're muted, Marianne.
That's nice, Marianne. I saw a little bit.
Okay, there we
Yeah,
go.
let me put you up, Marianne. There we go. I love those
Ooh.
colors.
Yeah.
I love that you have the
you.
purple that's peeking through on the outside on the bottom.
It
I
looks
feel like
an
it
ocean with a bunch of fish in it.
Oh, like little beta fishes maybe.
Yeah.
I love that you
Oh.
have the thicker brush strokes though. I love that.
This was my first time with it, so thank you. I'm learning. I appreciate
Nice.
it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Gosh,
And I'm
those
afraid
colors.
to add another color, so I don't think I'm going to because I'm nervous.
I think you should leave it. I honestly think that it's perfect the way it is. Just because of the way you added your brush strokes, it's beautiful, and your colors, they blend very nicely together.
I was listening because I didn't want brown, so I was trying really hard not to get brown. And
well, it paid
the
off.
pink I used the first time I used the palette knife with the pink, so I didn't scrape. I kind of squiggled, I guess. That's where the fish come in.
Yeah, you squiggled with it, and I think it really shows that squiggle.
Oh, good. This was fun. I hope we do more painting ones. I enjoyed this.
Good. Yeah, we'll do more painting ones. Maybe not very close together, like more spread apart, just because I don't want to leave anyone out, but
Got
we
it.
will have more. Yay.
No, I
Thank
get
you,
it. I
Marianne.
understand.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
This was fun.
Good. Yeah. I have a lot of work to do on mine. I'm gonna take some advice from you guys. Like, I love the way a lot of you guys put your colors there, like the colors you added on top of it was really nice. So especially that peach and that pink that you used, Marianne, I love that.
Oh.
I don't know. I want to do something with
I
it.
love yours too. I mean, I couldn't get mine to look like that. So
Thank you. Yeah, we'll
you're
definitely
brave
have
to
more.
go with colors. I have to get courage to use colors.
It is scary. Yeah, it is pretty scary. But once, honestly, like the more practice you get with it, like the less afraid you'll be with it. So
It's true. I'm going to town here.
see, yep.
I didn't really want to use, I love yellow and I like green, but then I don't understand, this program has like these palettes, and I don't know if I created the palettes or they create the palettes, but I just added like a chartreuse, and I was going to ask, can I do that? And then I was like, I could always undo it, but I like where it's going. It's completely changed. I'm going to take my
Nice.
I'm going to take off my background because I think choose virtual background. I think it's easier to see if I do that. Where is it? Because now I like what happened. Okay.
I would love to see that. I'm just experimenting on here.
I mean, it's not going to look like what you're doing. Like, how could it? But
Not supposed to.
how funny. I was like, which way does it go? But
Ooh, see, I love this.
can you
Yeah,
see?
it's not supposed to look like mine, so
Can you see?
okay, I'm gonna spotlight you, then I can see you.
Better.
There we go. I see the chartreuse, and now it looks more like an aurora borealis because of that chartreuse.
Right.
Yeah, but I mostly see it like a little bit more in the corner-ish. Did you add it in other spots?
Well, I have it in that right in the middle.
Okay.
I can't see when I'm holding it up to the camera.
Oh,
what you can
no,
see.
you're good.
Oh yeah.
You're
Oh,
good.
okay. Yeah, I mean it has a lot because now it even made it some orangey.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you the drafts because then you could see what the program does.
Yeah. Send me the
Because
drafts.
it's really
and-
like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I really like what that did. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and honestly, I should have mentioned this earlier when other people were on the call, but it's good to pay attention to what you like. Like it's good to pay attention to how your hand is moving, what you're doing. That way you can keep note of what you like and recreate it, or at least try to recreate it later on.
If you didn't have cognitive issues.
That's another thing you gotta navigate too.
Yeah.
Gosh,
so
I
whatever, like
know.
whatever this is, I don't know that it'll be like a finished, oh, I love it. But I'm throwing in that chartreuse. Then I'll send you, then you'll see how it just evolved. Because I really only used chartreuse. I used the blue, the purple, the teal, and then the chartreuse, which is turning things into orange and yellow and
orange too, though. That's
well,
actually kind of amazing.
Yeah, you can't see it. That's why I'll have to just so you could see it because it's popping out the orange. It's like, oh my God. Like, I don't know. I'm like not really happy about those dots. I'm gonna leave them just so you could see what they did, like these little dots that but I have stuff to work with now, and I'm wrap so that I can
you mess with it later.
Thank you so much. It's so healing for me.
Good. I honestly, Karen, I'm really glad that you come to this party. I'm just gonna call it a party. It's a little art party. We have this every single Monday.
I understand creativity. I just don't understand visual art. So it goes into that same, recently I've done some writing workshops, which are kind of like this, and I feel like, oh, I'm painting with words. And now I'm painting with paint. Paint.
I love that comparison though. Yeah.
That what?
That comparison. I love that comparison. You're painting with words and now you're painting.
Because I can't dance anymore. I used to dance. I used to have all these, I could still sing, but I can't really play music. So it's tapping into that.
Yeah.
Is anybody creative this week? It's like, yeah, I went to your art class. Twice
in 1 week. That's right.
Yeah, I'll do this because the writing class isn't happening now. So it's like, I need I need a creative outlet.
Honestly though, Karen, that you mentioned music, and I should have mentioned this before to everyone else before they left, but especially if you're going to do this kind of project again, something that's very abstract and more concentrated on colors and movement, I would encourage you to listen to music, because if you're the kind of person that is drawn to music, you may find your art being influenced by the music in some way. I know that there's an artist named Shayna Stern, and she also has MS, and she focuses on listening to music. She used to be a dancer as well and listening to music, and now she creates art based off of the music and how it makes her feel and the movements and colors that come to mind. So maybe you could do something like that, Karen. I don't know since you used to be a dancer, I don't know how that would work, but
I used to do improvisation. I'm like,
visual
arts. And it's funny because always knew I wasn't like visually artistic, and I thought, well, maybe when I'm old. And then and then I was like, okay, that's not going to happen. And then MS happened.
Yep.
So
And
I,
it surprises you all
like,
over again.
maybe when I'm sedentary, which is unfortunately what's happening.
Yeah.
This is really fun. I like what I did. Like it just could be, I don't want to keep ruining it, but
No,
but
you're
it's
saving your drafts, right?
yeah, some of them, but it's just funny how, yeah, I just added the yellow and the orange is popping out. And I don't know why, you're into for me, I'm into the process,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't help but not see why whatever happened. It's like, I'll do that when I
Yeah.
watch performance art or someone who facilitates really well. I take notes.
Yeah.
I like how they said that. Oh, that was really good when they did that.
Yeah.
And somebody oh, they didn't like when something, that you can't help it. It's just what you do.
Yeah. It's how you pay attention to the art forms, the specific art forms.
And like for me right now, it's like, no, I don't think I want to pay too much attention. I think I should just do it. Just do it. Just see what happens.
Yeah, see what happens. And I don't know. I find art very, at least this kind of art, very meditative. And I think that with MS, you need those moments where you can pause and you can pay attention to your present, but your present, that's not your symptoms, right? Because your symptoms, they're just kind of always there. But I feel like art and something visual is very rewarding to look at and do.
Right. I just feel so proud. I keep sending my pictures. Look what I did.
I know, I love it. And we're gonna keep honestly, like if you want to add these to the ANCAN gallery, we can do that too, even though we did this here.
No, that's okay. I can just enjoy that. I have, because my art is more like performance art, and I've taught people workshops in comedy, like how to like, and it's not like stand up, it's just how to, and take I just for fun, it was like a music weekend, and then with the comedy focus, so I said, okay, comedy for serious women, and I just thought, like people would know me and they would just think, oh, it'd be funny, but no, I got like really serious women. And
I'm going to say goodnight and thank you. I enjoyed the class.
Bye, Marian. Thank you for joining us.
You have a great week.
Yes, you too.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
bye. See, like you're a serious woman. You would come, but you also have that fun side. But I got like real, like serious women. Somebody was like, well, how did it go? I go, I don't know. She said, I asked someone and they go, how was it? And they go, interesting. But then they did this performance because they channel whatever it is I give, it's just like with you. I'm not doing what you're doing. I'm doing something else, but I wouldn't be doing it if you weren't guiding me. And
I see.
People just said, oh my God, to be funny. I mean, and it's like, yeah, I'm serious. That's why I'm funny. But just to take that art and have people put it on without having to try to be funny. Just be yourself.
I'm just amazed that you could, I don't know, you said that you taught a class, like a comedy for serious women.
I'm like, yeah, how to, not how to be funny, just
yeah.
I mean, I've applied that to different things. Just
I'm more amazed that you made that happen, because if I think of myself as a stand-up comedian, I can't.
No, you can't. No, that's why I said comedy for serious women. It's like you would have fit in. And then it's funny, and people like who knew me, and the artistic director was like, how did you get people to do that? I know how I did it, but it's like with this, like, how did you get? I've showed a friend of mine who's she's artistic, I'd say, and I showed her the first or second time we did stuff with NCAN, and she goes, she's really good. You're a really good teacher. I wouldn't know. I mean, I know because I created something, but I can't.
Oh, that's
I can't know the process you went through, but I just
man. So something that I would like to, I guess, what's the word? Better myself in is writing. That's, I don't know. I feel like I'm not a very good writer, and I just kind of, I need more help with it. I need more practice.
Well, this workshop I went through was through Westmoreland Senior Services, and
Ah,
they did this writing workshop with this woman named Tanya Schaefer, and she does private workshops too, or she does like 10-week things. And
mm-hmm,
I loved where she took it. It was like this, I love where she took us, and I love where everybody went. Like we all got similar prompts, we all got similar paint, we all got similar, and I love what we did. I can't remember. But I'll look through it, and then but if you saw what I wrote, you'd go, I couldn't do that. But you could, she takes you out of your head, she uses poetry, she uses poetry, painting, reading, and then she'll give you a couple of lines. It's like this process, take 5 colors,
okay.
lines, and then just go and just do it. And I can't write anymore, so I have to dictate.
Ah, okay.
But she's really great. Like how she, and I think she was doing like a 1-day workshop or something. I'll send you her
Yeah, send me
Because
her
what she
information. She
did,
said,
it would resonate, and
yeah,
even if you just even if you just tried like a workshop thing,
it sounds like her prompts are very open-ended, I think.
there's no
I-
right way to do it.
yeah, exactly.
There's no, and I love those kind of writing workshops, but I really loved what she did, and I was on the wait list because I did it once, and then I did again, and I don't have to pay, and so then I just lobbied the coordinator. I was like, please, please. So it's not happening now, and so this is like, oh good, I have this now.
Another outlet now.
Yeah, because to me it's almost like it doesn't even matter to me what the creativity is, as long as it's
something creativity
coming out, and yeah, that's what you want to write. Same thing, you get it.
I feel like we as humans, like, not to get too philosophical, I won't, but I feel like we need different modes of creativity, and just art and writing and singing and music are just those different modes. We just need to find what we're drawn towards. And I guess for some people it can be, I don't know, what do other people do for fun? I don't know.
Well, it could be
dancing, there you go. Could be dancing too.
It could be art, but I always feel like I had art phobia, so you're really changing that for me.
Oh, yay.
Totally changing that for me. It's like, get over that. You can't say that anymore.
Yeah, Karen, when I first started with Hannah, I was saying that I used to do art years ago, and I just stopped. I don't know, I got into a funk. I don't know if it was MS related or not, but it just stopped. So to the point where even on my free days where I had nothing to do, I was like, okay, let me go and get a pen and a paper, and I would just sit in front of it and nothing would happen. Yeah, until this class started, and then I was like, okay, yeah, it's getting me back into doing it, and I'm so grateful for it.
Yeah, and sometimes you just need that reminder, because I sang every day. I just sing, and people say, oh, you must be happy. You must be happy. That's why you're singing. It's like, no, I'm singing and it makes me happy. And then I haven't been doing it, and I can't play my instruments anymore. I can play a little ukulele, but I don't. And then when I do, I'm so happy, and it reminds me that I can do that just to tap into that. And there's someone, and now that you're mentioning that, Tony, because before the pandemic, there was an MS, it was MS yoga, but the teacher was really weird. But I would go, it was a half a mile from my house, and it's like I'm in this room with people that have MS, and it was before I even deteriorated as much. It's like, okay, that's where I'm headed. And there's a woman named Karen. I'm going to get in touch with her because we haven't since the pandemic done that. And she's an
Mhm.
artist. I know she told me she's always made art, and I'm going to tell her about this class because I'm sure she'll come up with the same. And I know she has, I don't have the tools, but I got my little tablet. So, but yeah, we need to remember what brings us joy. And
Mhm. I think that's such an important point too. It's that idea of remembering what makes us happy in the first place, because MS will make you focus on it, and it'll make you focus on the bad because that's what's happening to you. You're losing a lot. You have to grieve for the life that you used to have. And that takes away from our focus as people and as, I don't know, just individuals who used to be on a happier level. Even if you weren't completely happy, nobody's completely happy, but
yeah.
you need that reminder of better times. And I do think that coming together in a space like this, I feel like that's probably just as important, even if we're not doing art, like talking about our things and just talking about life and something that's not even our symptoms,
But the
can be
art,
really helpful
yeah, but
too.
the art just pulls you out of your head.
It does. It does.
It pulls you out of
Couldn't
your
agree
head.
more.
And then like what I'm doing, whatever this is I'm doing, like right now, it's just, wow, okay. And I won't do it. I never pick up this pen. I mean, when did I first do something with you? It was probably more than a year ago. And I bought this tablet so I could learn how to write. But I went,
Yeah.
I can't really tell anyone else, but I could tell you. I could tell anyone else, but they wouldn't get it because my right hand is increasingly paralyzed. I haven't been able to.
Yeah.
So I knew I'm going to have to learn how to write with my left hand. I can't, I can't write notes. And I went to this, supposed to be a neuro-occupational therapist. And now I know she doesn't know anything. Like she doesn't really understand MS. You kind of would think someone is a neurological occupational therapist. They might get it. Because I said, I have cognitive issues. Then she gave me that stupid dementia test that Trump got. It's like, I'm going to say 5 words. And then she goes, what is this? Look at these pictures. What are they? And I kept saying, I came to use my left hand. And I also was being evaluated by a neuropsychologist. So you don't need to do that. I have a therapist, I have a social worker, I have a primary. You don't need to assess if I'm safe out on the road or driving. And then she goes, well, show me how you write. And, I was like, okay, I understand you want to assess my right hand from when you last saw me. Oh, look, you could still do that.
Oh,
I'm not hearing about what I can still do. I want to learn how to write during COVID to get a coveted appointment. I want to learn how to write with my left hand. And that's why I bought the tablet so I could practice. And I couldn't even open up the envelope she sent me. I just left there, just live it. And then to make it insult to injury, I got a ticket, like a really bad 2 tickets on my car. And it's like, I left him just frustrated, just. And then she's like, okay, I want you to draw like, well, then there was a picture of like a weird animal, I'm from New York, I don't know about animals. And it was like, like Trump had like a camel and a horse. I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't know, is it a rhinoceros? And it was just so traumatic for me. So it's really,
oh my gosh,
art, but to go, I got this tablet, I got this pen, I paid the extra money to have this so I could learn how to use my left hand. And, it became so awful, and everybody's had that one awful experience, if not 10 at the medical facilities, of somebody just misinterpreting everything. And just, I still have like PTSD. I feel like better now. It's like, thank you for listening. I feel like, okay, I can learn from that.
Yeah, when was that? You said that was
it was during COVID, and I think it might have been 2020, but it was
okay.
2020. But then she also was giving me this she goes, I'm going to say 5 words. She didn't say I'm going to do this thing and then you'll know what I'm doing. I'm going to say these 5 words, velvet, balloon, pizza, like, it's like, well, we can't just fit those things back. Those of us with cognitive issues, and it's like, why would
Yeah,
you even
it's
want to, like, I'm
it's a
already
little
getting
harder.
neuro testing. Like, you don't need to do this. Then it was, this test, and then it was like, okay. And I never had good spatial, probably because I've had MS longer. I had symptoms for 20 years before I even diagnosed me. But then it was like, draw like a four, like, like that chair, that 3-dimensional thing that I don't know how to do it. Then it was like, okay, draw an arrow. Here's the clock, and draw an arrow, 10 after 11. Oh, you can do that. See?
Oh, that sounds
So I just
demeaning if you're
stopped right
asking
there. I was
me.
like, we're done.
Oh,
We are done.
I don't know. I honestly don't know how I would react.
How to write with their opposite hand. You would think
Yeah.
a neuros, like,
Yeah.
that would be their job.
Yeah.
I've been so stalled on it. So I'm so glad that I'm kind of going back to, like, maybe I can. I'm doing everything else with my left hand. I drive with my left hand. I drive with my left foot. I got a portable left foot accelerator put in my car so I can.
Oh, that's cool.
With that, and I was nervous at first, and now it's like that's just how I drive. I don't drive.
You just gotta get used to it. Yeah, it's just how you drive, and now this is how you draw with your left hand. And
when I never drew with the right hand.
So yeah,
exciting.
exactly. Well, you're doing an amazing job, Karen. You really are.
And so are you.
Are you gonna be here next week then?
It's on my
expect you next week. Yeah.
On my
Okay.
calendar, and then I tried to log in, and that's how I was almost late. I tried to log in, and oh no, I didn't put the right information down. I like my whole day is like everything like that, right?
Yep.
I'm definitely gonna. This is now on my calendar, so I'm really excited.
Perfect.
And I'm gonna try to get in touch with this other person.
Your other art class, what night is that on?
Oh yeah, so the one with Can, that's gonna be on August. Let me look at the calendar. Hold on.
18th.
August 18th. Yes, thank you. Yes,
I
you're
remember
right.
that. Then people
You did.
You remember.
See?
See, Karen, you remember.
And the thing about those assessments is, like, just because I can remember the last 5 words you said does not mean that I can go into an office and remember all the things that my new boss is going to teach me. Or
Yeah. I know, like, they don't know your baseline. Yeah,
exactly.
Only you know your baseline. Oh my God, I got that too. I got that talk too from some of my one of my doctors. I don't even remember who. But yeah, it's like they don't understand completely.
They don't.
No. All right, guys, dinner is calling my name.
Okay.
So we'll let you go.
I'm gonna send you my drafts just so you can see what happened. And
yeah,
I could write it down, but I think you'll remember, because you're an artist, that I only use purple, blue, purple, teal, and chartreuse.
Purple,
and
teal.
You'll be amazed at what popped out. Like, you won't. You'll go, oh wow.
No, oh, I can't wait, because yours honestly like reminds me of the Aurora Borealis, even before the chartreuse.
Oh yeah, I like
Let me
that.
show you. There we go. See?
I like that.
Those swipes of color.
Yeah.
I like that.
Beautiful. Uh-huh.
And I was really going for what you were going for, because I think the first time I ever did a class was you were doing this stuff with the credit card. And so I was like, okay, I'll try to do that. And then with this, what I just channeled was, okay, the brush strokes. And for some reason, the brush stroke I think there is a way to actually control it, but the brush stroke was just like covered the whole thing up in purple. So then I was like, okay, well, now I'll go over it with white. And that didn't happen. And, I was trying to go for what you're going for. And then I'm like, just stay with the brush strokes. Like, I understand enough about a creative process to go, just take the parts that you can incorporate.
You can handle. Yeah. Take the parts that you can handle and go with that.
You're such a great teacher. I'm so glad.
Thank you, Karen.
And
Thank
Tony,
you,
it's great
guys.
to meet you too.
Nice to meet you as well, Karen.
Y'all have a wonderful evening.